Hello again. No one's commented on my flag. I was a bit surprised about that. I bought one for my first boat, and then my second boat I thought, oh, I'll make one, so I made that. Anyway, I found it in my clean up and hung it up, you see. I thought it suits. Well, as you can see, we've got it together. I'm quite busy. I decided to change the design again, and I've made a small mount there, a bit like the old-fashioned steam engine. I've just got a bit of cardboard in there at the moment, and what you do is tighten those screws down to hold the shaft. So I'll need, you know, 2 bits of rubber, but that's how the old engines worked. So I've made all that bracket there, screwed it on there, got it square, and sanded it in and everything. But something just to show you, I think it's fair to say I've been a tad unlucky. I'll just spin it round with the drill, but it looks wonky. I'm not. And I think I know what I'm going to do. We will see. You look. Anyway, you can see it spin round. There we are, it runs. How about that? Anyway, it's quite a bit out. So what I'm going to do is to make this back there. I made that small piece, if you remember. Well, it's not quite long enough for one thing. So what I'll do is I'll just find the high point this side, and I'll make another one with 3 bolts, and it'll be slightly, ever so slightly concave, so I can tighten the bolts up and pull the flywheel to be level this side. We can't do about the other bit, and the OD needs doing as well. You know, it's a bit shame really, but as you can see, you know, it's not really, it's not true enough for me, and I want that to be true. But at least you see it go round. And I've also finished all the this off. I've got some sanding belts, they came today, some rough ones, because the other had it. So what I'm going to do, I can't go too close, you know that with this camera, but it's all finished now. And let me bring this light around the back a bit. It glares if you get too much, but I think you can see enough on that to see it's all finished. Oh, and I put those holes in, as I said. I think that looks alright. So that's all finished. The base isn't yet, but I've got that all sanded up and finished and made that mount up quite a long while. So that's one bit of news for you. What else have we got to tell you? Oh, another disaster. While I was drilling that, I wanted to, I haven't got an end mill or anything to make them flat, but I was countersinking it out very carefully, and I put it in the vise, in my new vise, and it broke across there. Well, that's a simple fix, isn't it? You know, you just get a bit of metal and drill a hole there and 2 holes there and put that on. It'll be alright, but oh, it did one as well. It had to be the second one, didn't it? So I've got that to tell you. Also, as I say, I've got my new bolts, and they work quite well. So what I could do now, the other thing is, I used a piece of my stock up, and I thought, oh, instead of having a round for the thing, I'm going to use that. So it will be for the spool valve, instead of around the other side. So I only need 1 piece. It makes it simpler, and that's plenty thick enough, because I'm not sure yet. I mean, even if I used that, you can see it's plenty thick enough to have a hole. So I've got, the only difficulty I've got is to drill the hole and lap it in there. It'll be near enough. And then the block, I'm not, well, I say I'm not, I'm going to have to use something else, something ready made. I've got an idea on that. So, but I like this because I thought for finishing it, if I just wire brush it and paint, that would look good on the cylinder. So, because it's got to be longer, it won't matter if it sticks out the bottom, like that. and I can so it'll be like a liner, you see, and I can cut 2 holes in. And if you look at, you know, old steam engines, some were done like that. And then because this has got a big void, I'm not going to be defeated. What we can do, when I get a clamp, I can actually bore it out, because it doesn't matter, the middle doesn't matter. So what I'll do is just cut a slice off there, cut a slice off for the head, and then another one, and I'll fit the tube, you know, like a bit of pipe, but it's going to be a lot better than that, and about that length. And then I can have a bottom and top and the head, you see, so we can use that. So that's another thing, and I'm pretty sure that is what's going to happen. As I said, it's a continual thing, that, isn't it? And then this piece here that I've got, I don't know if you remember, I drew out, because I'm having, for the crank, you know, on it, it's going to be this shape, a piece round like that, and it goes like that. But it's only small, of course, remember, you know, and I want to make it all adjustable, you see. That's the thing. So if I slot a 1-inch hole in there and have a piece of this rod for the pin, well then I'll be able to put one of those cap screws in the end of that. I'll be able to slide it up and down, and then I can adjust the stroke from 1 to 2 inches. That's one thing. And also for the spool valve, something else I've not told you I thought of. Let's say we use this for argument's sake, and it only moves 3/4 of an inch. I mean, it's about, what's that? That much. I mean, it doesn't move much at all. But to alter the timing, I can, where's my bit gone? Here we are. If I get that, you can imagine that's on there. So to alter the timing, I'm going to, obviously everything's got to be adjustable to line up and that. So I'll slot the holes underneath, so ever so slightly I can move that way. That'll adjust the inlet timing. And then for the exhaust timing, because it's like 2 valves, if I use, I say it needs to be about that thick to be able to drill it and get a screw in. So if I use a piece of threaded rod or those screws and get some nuts on it, the space in the middle, instead of grinding it down as I was planning on doing, have it fixed, that can be movable then. So the only thing that's set in stone, if you like, is the size of the top of the spool valve, because that's what blocks the ports off, of course. You know, it blocks the port off while the piston's going down to the bottom, then it opens it. And I know beforehand that it's got to be about, well, just about half what the stroke is, because it, we all know that how it works. So that's in the future anyway. That's all in the future. But we're getting on. As I say, I ordered some more of these sanding belts, and they came today, some 60 grip ones, because I've quite a lot to take off. So I finished that, and I've got that done. But as I said, honestly think I was a little bit unlucky, because it's running a long way out, and I'll just show you that, because it's running a long way out. And I said it could come right or it might not. Well, it hasn't, has it? It's gone the wrong way, and it's gone miles out. And you know how true it was on the thing. So this just shows you it. Let me just turn that dial, and I can't go any closer than that, because it goes blurred, doesn't it? You saw that on the other one, but I'm sure you'll be able to see it move. So if I put that there on the nuts, right, put that there, look, and you can see nearly a full turn. So that's 4 thou 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, about 28 thou, about 30 thou, you see, all the way round. Well, you can see it, and you saw that when I spun it round, but at least you've seen it. You know, I'm quite encouraged that we've actually got this far, and we thought about the things that we're going to do. So I think that's about it. You know, we'll keep it shorter for today, obviously, but give you a few updates before we get too many, because if we get too many at the same time, anyway, look at that. Other than the flywheel wobbling, you know, you've actually seen it, what it's going to be like now, and I think that's going to be something like, it's starting to look good, and that's the finish that we're sort of after, you know. Oh, I didn't show you around there. Can you see I've done some holes that side as well? They look alright, they do, and I can't finish the base till I get everything else on. So I thought I'd give you an update now, because it could be a while. I can make these two pieces, I've got those to make next. Then when I get that made, I can determine where the barrel goes, and I've got to get, you know, as I say, I've got an idea for the piston and the liner, we'll call it, and so I've got to get that. So it could be, you know, a few days before you get something else. We'll see. Anyway, that's about it for today, I think. Thanks a lot. We'll hopefully see you soon, but there's some ideas coming and the plans are forming, and I think we're getting to the point now where, you know, we've more or less got them finalised. Alright, thanks. Cheers.